Welcome to 6th Gen Farmer. Today I decided to take the battle of the weeds to the field here with my dad's 12-row row crop cultivator. So we've actually had this for a few years. I don't think it's ever been on the channel. It's just kind of been sitting in a shed, but it's kind of our backup cultivator. And since my cat tractor is on the big cultivator today, my dad's currently doing the organic, he let me borrow the 8410T and his 12-row. So I'm gonna walk this field a little bit, cultivate a little bit, and then I'm also gonna head over to the cornfield and we're gonna check out the Novo Nessus torque trial. So a lot of good stuff in the video today. So of my two soybean fields, this soybean field is by far the cleanest example of the two. I sprayed my pre-down right after I planted, and then I got a nice rain on it, and the pre did a great job. And then early season I came in with Liberty Ultra. I did a pretty high rate. I think it was 40 ounces per acre. I could be wrong, not for sure. Don't quote me on that. And it cleaned it up good. And being that this was a pretty clean field to begin with, and we didn't really have any drown outs in this field last year with all the rain we got, it's pretty clean. And I've spent quite a bit of time walking around this field. And I mean, in the hour I've probably spent walking around, I've maybe found one or two weeds. So it's not really worth spraying again. Like my agronomist likes to say, a dollar saved is a dollar earned. But I do have a little bit of a weed issue along this fence line. So last week I came out here with my high boy. I didn't film it, but came out here with the high boy and I mixed Liberty and Enlist together because there was quite a bit of water hemp along this fence line. And I made 2 or 3 passes. And it did a pretty good job. It seems to have made the weeds pretty crispy for what it did catch. Let's find a weedy spot here. Yeah, here we go. I mean, we're pretty dead. I mean, this, like that's dead. However, I was walking here the other day and I was starting to see some new growth come through just in these first few passes. So I thought, rather than spend more money on more chemical, why not just bring out the 12-row cultivator, make however many passes I think are necessary. That way, you know, save a little bit of money on chemical and stuff. Row crop cultivating right here is not gonna be very fun because that outer unit is gonna catch this netting. Last year they came in and put a pipeline through the corner of my field here, and then they put this netting down with the grass, but I don't think it's a biodegradable netting. It's very stringy and plasticky. I would have used like the hay netting, but we'll see. Might be cutting that off here in a bit. Ah, yes, here's some nice toasty weeds. I'm not seeing any new growth right now, but I know there was some new growth out here the other day, so. There we go. There's one right there. And actually, there's a weed I missed right back in here. And if this goes well, I'll probably end up doing some borders too. Here we go. Here's an area that did not get killed by the chemical. Pretty heavy weeds right in there, and the row next to it. That's what I'm trying to get today, because I don't think spraying really expensive chemical every time you see a weed is the answer. Now, I'm not saying to get away from spraying, but I think that there are other alternatives that can work in certain scenarios. Hence that. So typically my dad is the one that actually sets up the cultivator, and then I just do a lot of the operating, the driving. So I've never actually set one of these up myself, but I've watched him do it. These 856 cultivators are kind of known as the Cadillac of the cultivators because they had so much adjustment. But you know, the more adjustment you have, the more you can also get wrong. So looking at it here, obviously I got to go a little bit before I know really how it's doing, but I do know that when these things are up, that is more downforce than when they're down. Like half of them up, half of them down. So I'm gonna make sure the ones behind the tracks are up and probably just put the rest of them down. I think all you gotta do is take a wrench and then just do that. I'm guessing whoever had this cultivator last had a tire tractor with duals on it. That's kind of the way they had it set up. Oh, this one's missing a spring. Yeah, I better keep that one up if we're missing a spring. These ones can go down. Now, we don't have this one set up quite as tight as the organic one, so the units are a little bit further apart. There's a little bit more of a space between the rows. So speed is going to be my friend, because I'm going to want to throw that dirt as far as I can to try and get it in between the rows. The soybeans are big enough. I'm not really too worried about covering them up. So there's really nothing to do other than set it down and just go and see how it does. Seem to be going in pretty deep. This one's definitely going in a bit deeper. Oh boy, which way's, I think, oh yeah, there's my dial. Oh, that's deeper. Okay, I hope you want to go this way. There we go. Behind the tire tracks is always hard. I mean, it's just, the ground is so hard, it doesn't really matter how deep you get it set. It just never does as good of a job. Let's check out how it did in this little weedy patch back here that I showed you guys earlier. Well, knocked that guy out. That's good. Actually, it seemed to pull up a lot of these roots. That is fantastic. I mean, even some of the ones in here. Look at that. Ooh, I'm pretty happy with this. There's like nothing left. What about in here? Okay, that one was still in there, and like some of these ones are really close to the row. You're not gonna get those. And this is just one little spot. That's kind of bad. Most of it's not this bad. I think I'm just gonna leave it. It's doing a good enough job. Just go fast. Sounds like a plan. I'm learning with you guys right now. No auto steer today. Doing this old school. How fast can I go, I wonder? This is 7.5 miles per hour. Probably a good place to go. Well, as far as I can tell, I didn't take out any of the netting on that ditch over there, or the fence line, so it should be good there. This fence line is going to be the trickiest part. It's just going to catch all this dead stuff, build up, and take this last row of soybeans out with it. So I got done with the one fence line, I'm on to the next, and I'm just kind of looking out. You know, I'm up high enough I can really see if there's any weeds or not up here. I'm just not seeing much. Might take a drive just through the middle of the field to see if I see anything. But if it's anything like it was 4 or 5 days ago when I last checked, I'm just not expecting to see much out here. Now, the other field that is new to me this year, the reason that one is having so much more problems is because it was really wet last year. Had a lot of drown outs, a lot of spots that just didn't get sprayed. And, well, now I'm kind of paying the price. And a lot of people are. Not just me. No. Here's a spot where all the weeds are pretty crispy, but it looks like some of them are coming back a little bit. So hopefully this knocks them out. kind of fun. I like the 12 row. Not so much pressure with this as there is the organic one. I did find a little bit of grass here along the acreage. I'm going really slowly, that way I don't throw a bunch of dirt on their nice, beautiful lawn. Make a couple, I'll maybe make a pass along the side of the acreage too and just see what it looks like. That's the beautiful thing about this. I can kind of pick and choose where I want to go. So I made a few passes along the fence line and kind of hit a bottom area. And I'm driving around, I'm not seeing any more weeds here, which is fantastic. So I am done with this. I'm gonna go drop it off to the neighbors. But in the meantime, let's go and check out the torque trial from Novo Nessus. So, popped on over to my cornfield here. This is where I have the torque trial with Novo Nessus. We got Tyler from Novo Nessus. He is the territory,
Territory sales manager.
Territory sales manager for our area. And then I got Stefan, my local agronomist here with me. He was the one that helped me with the seed trial. So we're gonna go do some root digs. And I think you said you had a root washing kit too?
An old cooler I found on the side of the road.
Perfect, I love it. Okay, it's somewhere here and we got a bunch of rain, so we got our mud boots on. So, found my little flag. So this is the pass where I did not apply Torx. This was just straight 32% UAN. I'm sure all of our pants are absolutely soaked. So we'll probably get some roots from each, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys are the experts, so.
Yeah, I'd say get out of the pinch rows, do 4 or 5 plants, and then go into the other ones and do 5 plants side by side. And
okay, take them out?
Yep.
So I should have been filming the last time we talked about it. So describe your method for doing root digs.
So what we'll do is, in the trial zone here in these 24, we'll take and we'll do a stand count of these 30-inch rows, so 17 feet, 4 inches. And then we will take the 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, and 25th plant in that stand count and do the same in the trial without the product. So then you can compare and contrast, and you're not drawn to the best or the worst plants. You're drawn to
whatever plant is there.
Yep.
I like that because I mean there has been definitely times in the past where I'm doing stuff I'm like, well, this one looks good.
Yeah, it's human nature. You always pick the best or the worst. I mean, it's just it's the way you are, I think.
Okay.
Anyway.
Perfect.
All right, so the boot is exactly a foot long, so that helps you.
Okay, I will stand at the start. So I guess Tyler asked any question more geared towards you.
Yep.
Gosh, I didn't look at the date. So this was applied on June 2nd, and today is the 27th, so a little over 20 days. Do you think we're going to see much of a difference in roots at this point, or not?
I think with all the rain, it kind of could go either way with the rain.
Okay.
I think later in the season, as the plant gets bigger, more likely to see a little more.
Yep.
And then obviously, the goal of this is to really see what it does in bushels at the end of the year.
Yep. Harvest is the end goal. So we don't really know if we're going to see a difference today or not, but kind of curious. So decided to come out here and do some digs. So obviously stay tuned, because harvest is where it's going to make the actual difference. So you got your plant picked out?
I'll dig them up if you hold, Tyler.
Yep. You just tell me which one you want. That's why the little shovel works, but these plants are a little bigger than I was expecting for the little shovel.
Well, of course, you're in Martin County.
Be digging for a while.
We have gotten very lucky. Especially if you head east and north of here, people are not sitting as good as we are here. It's been a fantastic year. Would you agree with that, Stefan? Or?
Absolutely. We avoided the heavy rain the last 3 days that was predicted.
Yep.
So we are fortunate for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a year where every cornfield is like this tall, dark green, and just even lush. Yeah, just everything just looks beautiful. The funniest thing is that, so you're talking about when we were doing the seed trial, you're talking about how your vac setup was like 2 free vacuums and a piece of plywood. I had more than one person message me and ask me what kind of system you're using because it looked really slick.
Simple. It's cheap. The price is right.
It's literally 2 shop vacs mounted to a piece of plywood.
It worked good.
Yeah, worked fantastic. Okay.
So I have the untreated here, right?
Yep, these are treated.
Yep. What a system.
What a system, yeah.
That's a corn rootworm?
That is a corn rootworm larvae, yes. Out of these roots. And there'll be more as we let them soak here for a minute.
Okay. What, I mean, do you ever see a field that has like 0?
No.
Okay.
You don't have 0.
So what's the acceptable amount?
It's really hard to judge when you're washing them on roots because you're
getting all of them.
You're getting all of them. Some plants might be more infested than others.
Yep.
But you don't want 0 from a resistance standpoint. You want some that are there to breed with ones that might be resistant.
Okay.
If that makes sense. You want some that are susceptible. So it's not uncommon to see it everywhere, frankly.
Okay.
So
I don't know if I've ever actually seen one before.
yeah, there it is. So he's in his. I don't know what instar he is. I'd have to look, but he's hatched and he's feeding on roots. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. So. So right there, we found in the previous one we found the larvae in that previous soak, and now here we've got actually our larvae that's that is pupating. So that is the beginnings of a rootworm beetle itself.
Okay, so this one's actually further along
Goes further along. Yep.
than the last one.
So I would guess, being this is corn on corn, that's probably a western corn rootworm beetle. But he's pupating already, so it won't be long and he'll be out of the ground.
Kind of ugly little things.
They're kind of aliens, yeah.
Yeah.
Turn from a worm into that. And it's pretty bizarre.
Looks like his little face on there.
It is, yeah. That's the head. Yep.
Interesting.
We're not here doing rootworm digs.
No.
It's interesting.
No,
to see.
it is interesting to see. So how does this board work?
So we're just measuring length of roots. So we have a relative scale, and then we can take pictures and refer back to it, and
Okay.
I have a scale with it.
Neat idea.
More or less the backside of what everybody uses for the yield checks.
Yep. Got the ear holder in the back.
Yep.
So those were untreated.
Untreated.
So that did not have torque on it. These do have torque on it. Now, with all the rain we've got, we don't know if we're going to see much of a difference or not, but because torque overall, I mean, it's also a stress reducer.
Yeah, seed stress reduction, especially this year up north here, see a lot of help with cold stress for early planted soils. But then it does help with root growth, and then side dress season, a lot longer into the season stress reduction. Obviously didn't need a water stress reduction this year, but just trying to stimulate that root growth.
So being that we've had very little stress, that's probably why we're probably going to see as much. Is there any scenarios in which you see the biggest difference in torque?
Cold stress, salt stress from fertilizers, and in the past years when it dries out in June, that time of year, to get that root growth when we have a dry June.
Okay. So.
Hard to get a perfect check because there's a lot more of the long ones, but I wonder how many of those we accidentally broke off.
Mm-hmm.
On the other.
Probably a pretty good average for both.
Yeah. Trying to look at some of the root hairs.
If you're talking about length, that's a very similar length.
Yes, I would agree. Similar length.
Yeah, I mean, the treated definitely looks like it has more of these root hairs off of it than the untreated. Untreated has some, but they're pretty short.
I would agree with that. What do you think, Stefan?
Pretty good. Like this one's got more. Then
Yeah.
you got this one here,
Trying to get an average, like this one doesn't have a ton. These ones do.
And that one does. Compare. This is the untreated here.
Yep.
It's thick.
That one's pretty thick.
So I would say overall root length isn't much different. Maybe a little bit more root hairs here. Not a huge noticeable difference, but with the lack of stresses this year, we definitely still have potential to see a good difference come fall.
Yep. Yeah. No, I could definitely see how a product like this would behave a lot differently if we had a dry June. But it's. Have you seen a more perfect year for growing corn? How long have you been doing this? Quite a while.
This is my 10th year.
10th
I would
year.
say the only other year that would be comparison would be 2022 or 2017 around here.
Okay.
there was very good growing conditions as well. But this has been pretty good.
Yeah, no, it seems like every time we kind of need a rain, we get it, and they always predict like 3 to 4 inches, and we get 1, and it's been really good.
To put it in perspective, I just tallied it up since April 13th, which is roughly when we start planting most years.
Yep.
We've had just over 10 inches, at least in Trimont. Whereas last year was 16, and the year before that was 8.
Yep.
So we're less than last year, certainly, but it's hard to get more than last year.
Yeah, last year was
a little
tough.
bit higher than average, but not very much higher than average.
Okay. But is there anything else you want to touch on, or?
Wish we would see more of a difference, but I think that shows for the season, and that all your corn's looking pretty good. I think later in the season we'll see.
Yep.
Come out and do some more digs and see if there's a bigger difference then, and then obviously in the fall with the yield monitor.
Yeah, no, the yield monitor is a big one I'm really excited for, because if this works good, I like to continue using it in the future. It's a product that mixes super easily. You don't need a ton of it. What do you have any questions or comments, or he's independent here?
It all comes down to yield, in my opinion. If the yield if it's there to benefit it, fantastic. If not, that's kind of your answer. So, but
yep.
And that's kind of why I brought you out here too, because I think you're always kind of looking at different products and different things too. So, and being an independent agronomist, you can be a little more, you can be honest and
be as cynical as I want.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's nice to have the independent opinions.
That's right. We can both. At least I'm here too. We can help find that white flag. Come.
Well, perfect. I think that's all we got for this part. Probably go back and start working on the combine again. So appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.